Hi team, Sergeant Major Daly and I are here to share with you a new squad level tool you can put in your kit bag as you train on holistic health and fitness. It's called the High Achievement Series, and it gets after a sometimes neglected but nevertheless vitally important domain of H2F, spiritual readiness. Unit ministry teams across our formation have taken the time to distill the principles found in FM 7-22 Chapter 10 into 4 key areas: leadership, squads, families, and souls.
Hey, that's right, sir. Now listen, I already know what some of you may be thinking. That may be great for some people, but religion isn't my thing. Well, here's the reality. The Army doesn't limit spirituality to just religion. It can include anything that provides you, the soldier, with the personal qualities necessary such as hope, meaning, purpose, and identity that you and your squad use to overcome times of stress, hardship, tragedy. You can find this series on YouTube and Divots.
That's right. And each squad will be able to combine the high achievement training with a team building activity of your choice. As you work to strengthen the professional connections within your squad, you will also be strengthening your spiritual readiness.
Remember, every domain at H2F is important to readiness and putting people first. The CG and I look forward to hearing how your squad is getting after the spiritual domain with 11th Airborne Division's very own High Achievement Series.
That's right.
Arctic Angels.
Hello, and welcome back to this 4-part series called High Achievement. This episode will focus on the characteristics of a high-achieving squad. Each of you have heard of the SMA's initiative, This Is My Squad. And today, you will see how one squad of soldiers took ownership of that initiative as they climbed Denali, North America's highest peak. After each of the following videos, take a few minutes to discuss how your squad can commit to building a cohesive team and become a high-achieving squad.
I think a high-achieving squad is one where every individual in that squad places the squad and the well-being of the squad before themselves. I've seen a lot of squads in my time in the Army. It's not always the ones made up of all-stars that are the best squads. The results that a high-achieving squad achieves are not just the sum of the soldiers that occupy that squad. It's the result of the teamwork within it.
And they've done a lot of good training out in the cold. They've been out in the field together. They've had some tough times together, and they've learned together.
A team of leaders, definitely that. Making sure to go the extra mile as well.
One that functions like a well-oiled machine. Like everyone knows exactly what their tasks are.
Fast time, sir. Fast time makes the dream work. If you're not fast, you're not saving lives.
Constantly take care of each other and support each other throughout many different aspects, not just on the job, but off the job as well.
And that fundamental base of trust within that squad, that is what high achieving squads that I've been a part of have always had as a characteristic.
A squad that has a lot of cohesion together, a squad that consistently motivates and pushes each other to be great together. I think that would be a high achieving squad.
It is a group of soldiers, no matter what rank they are, coming together with a common goal, all coming together, communicating, going through what they need to achieve, and all being on the same page so they all work as a well-oiled machine.
A high-achieving squad has the highest amount of cohesion, work with each other, communicate effectively, and like their leader, do what it takes to get the job done.
Just being able to have that balance of both. You have to be good in the dining facility, cooking, preparing good food, following recipe cards, doing the basics in the dining facility, and still getting after the basic soldiering tasks. You know, shooting 40 out of 40 at the range, you know, doing down gunner drills, doing your training on your 249, doing down driver drills, doing tire changes, maintaining your maintenance, being able to balance all that.
standing in circle at base camp, we came together after a long set of training. The squad and at base camp, what we're talking about here is building cohesive squads and everybody having belonging. Also along with that, we came together so that we are showing that we can compete and win in the Arctic or the subarctic, and then also in a mountainous environment. And the big tenets of This Is My Squad and what our whole team had come together and doing at this point, and what we focused on being is that we're trained. And how we're trained is by coming together, receiving our gear, our equipment, and conducting all of our little training exercises before the actual climb. So our second tenet of This Is My Squad is that we're all fit. So we kept each other accountable when we're separated back with our normal units, to where we talked in our group chats, and we showed what we were doing every day to make ourselves stronger. So we knew that we were fit for the actual climb. Becoming cohesive is really what we built during our training, where we came together, went out, we built our base camps, we towed our sleds, we fought through adversity as we got trucks stuck, or as we were walking on our rope teams, as we got weathered in, and we weren't able to complete some of the climbs that we had planned during the training. But we stayed together. We came up with ways to make sure that training happened, and we bonded together through the tough times with the hard weather and the wind events and the blizzards and the snow, and then also the extreme cold. With all that, the next tenet, we were disciplined in what we were doing. We ensured that we took care of each other in wearing the proper clothing, the proper equipment. Always having the big thing in U.S. Army Alaska in the cold is our contact gloves, making sure skin was covered at all times to ensure that we did not have any type of cold weather injuries. So we're very disciplined in the cold weather injury mitigation. The next tenet, we're always positive. Everybody has their ups and downs, but we're battle buddies and we're team members. And part of being cohesive is we always had a member or multiple members of the team being positive, telling funny stories to keep everyone happy.
I will always want you.
Simon McCarthy, what's going on?
Wrecking ball.
It's
I
too
never
perfect,
hit
man.
so hard.
It's just too
enough.
perfect.
All I wanted was to break.
It should only take you 4 minutes.
But you ended up breaking me, wrecking me. I screwed up.
That's okay. One more time.
So when somebody was struggling, they had the rest of the team picking them up to help them out to keep everybody going. And lastly, now that we're here at base camp, we are ready because of all the training we completed, because of the fitness that we worked, because of the equipment checks that we conducted. We are ready to complete this mission to climb the mountain.
Team, embrace yourself. Today we're going to conquer the summit. A cohesive squad to me is that's your A team. That's the one you can go to at any time and they will accomplish that mission for you. Cohesive teams are derived from trust, sticking together, being there for one another. And at base camp today, we're going to start our mission until we reach the summit. Before we move up to Camp 1, answer this question. Who is in my squad? Take a few moments to record your answer, then discuss with your group.
So the challenge is to the leaders and to the individuals within a squad or within any unit organization is finding that value that your soldiers, your peers, your subordinates provide, and then for you to find in yourself the specific value that you provide to your squad. The big thing, or the big values that we saw, or that I saw from my squad, from my team during the Denali climb, is it definitely changed from person to person. So some of the members were very technically skilled. Some of the members were very physically fit, more so than the others. Some of the members always had a very positive attitude, and we're always go-getters on making everybody happy. You know, some people woke up in the morning, they weren't very happy people, but we always had those team members that provided that value of being very happy. And then we had the members that were good at making the smart and wise decisions, especially when it came to something that was technical, a weather-related event, or even a medical event to prevent a potential injury or frostbite or cold weather type injury. Then also just we had members from different backgrounds of technical ability. So we had members that were good skiers, we had members that were good climbers, we had members that were good campers, and those different members provided different pieces of value with their experiences that made all of us as a team much stronger and much better.
It's really awesome. So we have Sergeant First Class Gusty right here, Ranger Arctic, Airborne, boom, Shaka Khan, right? You know, he provides just a really chipper awakening for me in the tent in the morning, because I'm not a morning guy, right? So when he's right there, eye contact, breathing heavy, waiting to say good morning, I really appreciate that. That's great. He also sets a good pace up the mountain, right? He's our pace guy. He has it under control, does all that good stuff. And we have Staff Sergeant Jonathan Swope. You might know him as Duct Tape Squidward, whatever it may be. You know, obviously he's been on Denali before, and he's a fellow instructor at NWTC. So his knowledge and guidance in here.
No tab.
Being on the mountain. Yeah, no tab, that's gone. It's really effective for us, and obviously we have a little bit of insider knowledge, which is fantastic. And we have Sergeant Hucks over there, providing lots of encouragement, funny jokes. He's also a music guy, which I appreciate it. And he has the world's flattest bills on his hat, and his pants are awfully tight around his ankles, which makes him a hipster, and he hates worldly love movies like Forrest Gump. So he provides, you know, just a great morale booster, which is fantastic. We have Staff Sergeant Leon over there, just impossibly old. Look at him, he's not doing so hot. Much like we, coming up to 11, about to hit this head wall, are on our last leg of this mountain. He is on his last leg as well. But, super good dude, smart guy. He was the NCOIC of NWTC like 40 years ago or something like that. And he has lots of good stories. He can tell you about the war, and I mean like any one of them. And then we have LT over there, Lieutenant Wagon. He's a snack guy. He's always offering me snacks that I don't want. And then a lot of people don't know this about him, but he's an avid writer. He writes poems and all kinds of stanzas, you know, all that good stuff. You just ask him about his notebook. It's always out, and he's taking notes about it. And then we got back there, we got Sergeant Major. Obviously, look how happy he is. He's not in the office right now. He's hanging out, he's doing things. And he's just, I got a plethora of knowledge, and I really can't say any under the table backhand about that, because, you know, he's a Sergeant Major, that's fine. We go over here, we got Captain Air. She's absolutely awesome, right? So for our rope team specifically, she definitely gives a boost of morale. She's a great character to have inside the tent for me and Sergeant First Class Gusty, because whenever we're putting her down, we're feeling better about ourselves. And that is the most important thing, and that's what makes a team. That's what makes the teamwork, you know, happen. So, you know, we got a little intro to everybody. That's how everyone contributes, and me, obviously, being the most handsome and charismatic instructor at NWTC. I just do it all, right? I'm not a one-trick pony. You need me to climb stuff, I do that. You need me to pack my rug stack and then complain about how heavy it is, I can do that too. But yeah, that's what I got. How's that?
All right.
Forgot the chaplain.
I provide no value.
You're the camera guy. Camera guys aren't in.
Everyone, I provide no value to this squad.
I gotta take over the camera then. All right, so now that we're going like this, obviously cameramen don't count. They're not a part of the motion picture. They get the last credit afterwards, that's fine. Boom. Now we got Chaplain. All right, amongst always videotaping and always keeping us on our toes via uniform and all the profanity that I like to use that I can't because the camera's out. He's a machine. It's actually freaky. Who else thinks that, right? He's just a machine. The dude's a freak in nature, right? Boom, there we go over there. He doesn't stop. He just kind of
eating either.
Yeah, he doesn't stop eating. He doesn't do whatever like that. He goes from point A to point B. He sits down and he waits. And then he just wants to continue. And I don't know how he's not at the top right now, but talk about keeping the team motivated, because everyone has to just keep up with you. And it's exhausting, but it keeps us going, right? Everyone has a purpose.
Team, we have made it to Camp 1. Job well done. Every squad member provides value through their experience, through the way that they were raised, what they have been exposed to throughout their military career. So everyone has a significant part. Letting them have a voice in the decision-making process if that time is available. Diversity, different backgrounds, everyone having a voice during the planning process, or just being an individual. Everyone has capability to be able to speak, to have their voice heard, and their opinions listened to. To me, that is value. Comrade or battle buddy to your left or right, they do not have a price tag on them. Again, the Army has billions of dollars of equipment, which has a value to it. But again, how do I value myself? How do I value my soldier that's to the left or the right of me in the foxhole? That is priceless. As the aviation sergeant major, just think one Chinook costs approximately $32 million. That takes extensive maintenance to maintain. Okay. Now just think about squad member, one squad member. Okay. There's no price tag associated with it. In order to build that trust, to build that relationship, it's going to take time and effort. Before we move up to Camp 2, answer this question. How does each of my squad members provide value? Take a few moments to record your answer, then discuss with your group.
Tension can occur when we're not clear on who is responsible for what. So one of my recommendations is that the leader, whether it's a squad leader, team leader, or a leader within any kind of organization or group or squad, clearly defines who is responsible for which activities within a squad. And then after that leader defines who is responsible for what, further defining which each of those activities or those responsibilities are, so that the person that is assigned a responsibility or a task fully knows what they're supposed to do or what is expected of them. So then the next thing after that, once a team member is assigned with a task or responsibility, that person takes a personal investment in that task, and it goes to the point of saying, I will be the best at doing this task.
Okay, so shared responsibility. We all kind of have jobs that we share, we rotate, because nobody wants to be the guy always up doing water first thing in the morning. We're kind of responsible for making sure that everybody has the right stuff on any given day. At the same time, everyone's responsible for themselves because we're all grown adults. So it's kind of a mixed responsibility, I guess. Sort of Leon, you want to piggyback off that?
But yeah, it's good teamwork. So there's times when I'll definitely listen to Sergeant Major and the Lieutenant. They're on my rope team, and generally if they voice something, there's definitely value there, so you always take time to listen, come to a group consensus, and usually it's for the betterment of the team. You have your individual responsibility, and then you have your responsibility to your team, and you can't let your team down, you can't let yourself down, so you got to work together, and you got to do what you can to bring your buddy up, and you got to stay up.
Has there been a moment where a squad member was not as responsible as they maybe should have been on this expedition?
Yes, there was. I will reference today. This is one finger. This nice, beautiful tent that is right here. There was a very selfish man inside of it for about an hour. He laid there. There was 3 sleeping bags, 2 of which were set up. Mine was still in the bag. And the other one, there was, so this is his nice spot here. And then this is what he gave me to lay on. And that's how it went down.
To caveat off that, maybe if you would have helped set up the tent, then you would have got to pick a nice spot.
I warned you what was happening.
You could have done it. You could have set up the tent. You could have contributed. But no, you had to go poo-poo in a bucket.
We just talked about this.
No.
Individual responsibilities. I had mine. It's in that clean mountain can. Where's yours?
Team, squad responsibilities. I counted on you. I just had to set up the tent. Captain Eric? You know what that was like?
I'm sorry.
What do you have to say about this, Danny?
This is normal. They go back and forth, and then they just turn it on me. And then they make up, and I deal with it.
Don't mind us.
Hello team, we're here at Camp 2. We're making progress. Job well done. My early days in my career, I would always point at, hey, who was responsible for this action? How come this failed? Who was to blame with that? Never once did I think, hey, where could I have contributed? Where could I have shown ownership to be part of the solution? So today, I ask each and every one of you to be responsible. Show responsibility. Take that initiative. Go forward and do great things on this journey. Responsibility is being there, taking care of your soldiers, taking care of yourself, and also what is the action associated with that response. Responsibility along the lines of ownership, it's not defined by rank. We all have a responsibility, and it's at all levels to make sure that we're a part of the team and we have a voice. Before we move up to Camp 3, answer this question. Who is responsible for what in my squad? Take a few moments to record your answer, then discuss with your group.
On the way to Camp 3.
creating belonging in a squad can be, in a lot of ways, very challenging, especially as you have two really kind of distinct types of people. You have introverted type people and you have extroverted type of people. And with introverted type of people, it can be very difficult at times to get through to that person and create a real sense of belonging. Whereas typically your louder, more socially adept people that are the extroverts, they really like to talk, and it's very easy for them to, I guess, kind of get into a squad or get into any situation around people. But your quiet people, you have to figure that out, and that's a challenge to any leader of a team or organization or squad, is to figure out how you can bring those people together that maybe kind of don't want to be there or a little bit quieter. And something I have found successful, and what we actually found successful with our climbing team, was just taking a little bit of time in the beginning to have everybody kind of state what they like to do and find the hobbies that people have. Find the fun things that they like to do outside of work. That's kind of a leadership style I personally have used from the time of being a squad leader all the way through now. If I identify somebody that is really good at something, I will pick on them for that thing. And I try to find those things with every single one of my leaders, every single one of those soldiers, and say, hey, you know this really well. Put together a little class on this. And then bring that class to me, let me look at it. I'm going to ask you some pinpointed questions, and we can improve it a little bit. And then you can teach that. And for me, actually, when I was a first sergeant, that was very effective. When I was a platoon sergeant, that was very effective. Especially going through the different deployments and different FTXs and things that we're doing. Not only with the Army, but even with some fun things. I even had some soldiers that did fun hobbies and fun activities outside of work, teach a class to the unit or to the organization on those fun activities. It doesn't always have to be a long class. It could be a 5-minute briefing, or it could be a 10-minute. And you can get a lot of information out to people that they could really take and go out and do fun things themselves. So you can use that with both work and fun activities. And if you're using that to try to expand the knowledge base of everybody else, the things that maybe they kind of knew of but really didn't, then you're showing the unit that you care. Yep. And you're showing them that they belong and that you want them to succeed. Not only with work, but also with their personal life. And when you can bring those two things together and I guess facilitate success both with work and soldiers and your subordinates' personal life, then you're creating a good family atmosphere to where those soldiers want to be there with you. They want to be part of your organization, and they want to work hard for you, and they want to be successful.
Team, we're here at Camp 3. We're about halfway to the summit. Belonging. We all joined the military for one reason or another. And I think the majority of us joined because we had a higher calling or we wanted to be something more. So I think we wanted that identity, okay? Having that unit patch, having those badges, being associated with a bigger team, doing bigger and better things in life. Belonging to the greatest army in the world. Again, I'm quite sure when you go home on leave, you walk around with your chest out because you know you have joined an organization, something that's bigger than yourself. And you make everyone around you proud as well. And especially the ones you know or they know that you're a soldier. You walk a little bit taller, you walk with your chest out a little bit more, and you just got that slight pep in your step that just sets you aside from the normal civilians. Early part in my career where I felt like I didn't quite belong in that organization. I felt like an outsider. I didn't have that true connection with my squad leader. So often I felt alone until I opened up. I reached out to another squad leader. They started pulling me in. They started engaging with me more. And then I saw the trueness of belonging to a sense of belonging to an individual, and then later on that squad and that platoon. Early part of my career, I had to try to build that trust in order to open up to my squad leader. Again, coming straight from high school, basic training, individual advanced training, and my military occupational specialty, it was a little challenging. Again, I had to build that trust at the same time, learning my job, learning the organization, and learning what the military was all about. There was a lot of things going on at the same time, and I had to try to balance that and learn that on my own. So once I start feeling a little bit more comfortable in those arenas, I start opening up a little bit more because I start getting shared understanding. And once I start getting that shared understanding from within and to the left and the right of me, I begin to open up a little bit more. My squad leader, I'm willing to bet that they start sharing a little bit more information with me where they also felt that they're able to cross that threshold as well. So the big word here is time. It took time for me to trust. It took time for me to understand. And it also took time for me to build that team with that squad. Before we move up to Camp 4, answer this question. How can I increase the sense of belonging in my squad? Take a few moments to record your answer, then discuss with your group.
There are requirements sometimes that the leader has to ask the soldier a certain set of questions, but is there a way to do that effectively and still show that you care, not waste the soldier's time, be sincere, and find out what their passions are without it coming across awkward, but still doing what you're required to do by the Army?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And really, that is the challenge. And for any leader to try and figure out how they connect with their soldiers. And for everybody, it's going to be different. Nobody's going to be the same on how they can connect with them and learn about those soldiers. And no matter what, to some point, there's going to be some generic questions. There's going to be some generic forms. But just through conversation, whether it's through a team event or a sport event or out on a foot march, or even when you do room inspections, you see a soldier's has some kind of gear. For me, when I was a young soldier, I had skis in my room, I had hiking gear, I started to buy some climbing gear, so I had all kinds of stuff in my room that could easily prompt a conversation. In other ways, doing vehicle inspections, when you're inspecting your soldiers' vehicles or your subordinates' vehicles, you can see if maybe they have the bike rack, maybe they have a ski rack, maybe they have a sport box on top, or the type of
just paying attention to
everything
what's
around
going
them.
on, being situationally aware.
Exactly, and that's a great way, and that's what spawns the
the questions for you to ask of them. And if you can open up conversation with those soldiers with something that they like to talk about, they'll be far more receptive. And if you talk about something that's fun or interesting to them first, then get into that boring,
right,
check the block, checklist thing, then they're going to be much more open, or far more open with talking to you and telling you about their family, telling you about their friends, and then telling you about even more about what they like to do.
Team, we're here at Camp 4, making great progress. I will never forget, it was Corporal Lane who took care of me at my first duty station in Korea. He took me in as a brother. He was an older gentleman. He had me probably about 10 years older than me. But again, he took care of me. That was my first duty station. My expectation of the Army was at a minimum. It was overseas for the first time in a new culture. He took me by the hand and he showed me. He reached out to my family members. He would call them occasionally as well to let them know that, hey, their son is doing all right. He's in my hand. And even that small intake from our first duty station encouraged me that, hey, someone can be there for you. Over time, that's when that true connection took place between myself and my squad leader. It just took time. It was a little trust here, a little bit more trust here, a little bit more trust and engagement, and shared understanding, completion of tasks. All those start building that trust factor between one another. Those small tasks that eventually added up to a larger task where that trust was put out there for me. He showed me what right was. He showed me what wrong looked like and things not to participate in. Even to this day, he's been my mentor. He retired as a command sergeant major. I often called him for advice. And again, he's been a great friend, a great brother, a great mentor, all in one throughout my military career. And I will never forget Corporal Lane, and I appreciate him to this very day. Before we move up to Camp 5, answer this question. How am I getting to know my squad members and their families? Take a few moments to record your answers, then discuss with your group.
So as we're coming down the mountain from the summit, one of the climbers, he's starting to get tired, and we're all, get clumsy after you're walking for 8 or 9 hours and you're up at high elevations. And one of the members of the rope team tripped and slid off the side of the slope as we're going down the Autobahn, just coming down from the Denali Pass. When this happened, this individual, had we not been paying attention or had he not been roped in, he could have fallen over 1,000 feet to be severely injured, or even could have died from that incident. Yesterday, Chaplain learned this firsthand as we were coming down the Autobahn, which you can kind of see up above us. It's a very steep, very hard-packed snow that is very slippery. We're walking across that, traversing on the way down. And at this point, we're about 10.5 hours into our movement. So everybody's getting really tired. It's easy to trip and fall.
The path's only about the width of your boot.
Yep. In many cases, it's only the width of one single boot. Some places you got double boot width. So it's very tough to walk on when you have ropes hanging off of you and you have crampons. So we're walking along, and Chaplain here slips off the side of the trail and starts falling down the slope. And immediately, the team member behind him, he served as worthy battle buddy by self-arresting and while at the same time calling out the fallen climber, so that the other members of the rope team were able to immediately self-arrest as well. So that the Chaplain's fall, although it could have been very tragic and very bad, turned out to be just a minor incident, and we were able to recover him.
Team, we're here at Camp 5. We're well on our way. We're all going to fall short one day. And again, through observations, you can pick up pretty quickly of where your soldier may be a little bit too far to the left or a little bit too far to the right. So again, serving that soldier, being there for them in their time of need, and even if not, it's in their time of need, just being there for that soldier, being that soundboard for that individual, it would take them a long way. Serving our soldiers through observation is a critical task. The early signs are there. Whether it's fair relationships, as simple as getting a haircut, the wearing appearance in uniform. We can get a good sound check just through observation. We're all going to make mistakes throughout our career. We're all going to make some decisions that may have not been the best decision at that time. But again, it's our responsibility to make sure that we take care of one another. And that's through serving, doing what's right, giving the best advice, finding those mentors out there, grasping that understanding of, hey, what I need to do today so tomorrow is better. Before we move up to the summit, answer this question. How am I serving my squad members? Take a few moments to record your answer, then discuss with your group.
Alright, so right now we're on the Autobahn, which is just beyond the 17,000 foot camp en route to the Denali summit. To all our friends and family at 6th Ranger Training Battalion, this is Chaplain Heron and
Sergeant First Class Gusty.
Standing on the top of
Denali.
Denali, top of North America.
Rangers lead the way. 2021 USARAC Denali Expedition Team at the summit, 20,310 feet.
So when operating in tough environments, especially up here in Alaska, we're in the Arctic, subarctic, and in mountainous terrain, we really have to focus on being cohesive teams.
Hello team, we're here at the summit. We made it. Job well done. Congratulations. Throughout your journey in life, there's going to be many obstacles. I ask that you take these practices we have learned here today and apply them on a daily basis. The culture of building a cohesive team is by having that winning squad. Mission accomplishment. Not only to strive just for this summit, but on a daily basis. Higher achievement entails you knowing your soldiers, you serving your soldiers, the responsibility of taking care of your soldiers. This is only one mountain that you have climbed. There will be many more throughout your career. So take these lessons learned today, apply them on a daily basis, and I promise you will reach higher achievements. Take a few moments to answer this final question. How would I describe the culture of a cohesive squad? Record your answer, then discuss it with your group.